Hello, my name is Terry Jenkins, and I hope you guys are all terrific today. Today we're doing how to draw the Marvel, how to draw comics the Marvel way. This is episode 4, and we are on the figure. So, for those of you who are new, the whole point of the Marvel way, my journal, is it's a journal of me improving as an artist, and I'm going back to basics using this book. So let's get into it. Now you may be wondering, why do I feel the need to improve? And as an artist, I feel like you should always be improving, and that's something that we are always taught in our particular art schools. And I'm going to be doing another journal series where I try to find or perfect my own style. But for right now, this is just to practice certain skills like perspective and form. And if you haven't seen those videos, those are episodes 1, 2, and 3. Excuse me. And part of me sharpening my saw is learning how to draw digitally. So everything I'm doing, I will be doing it in Photoshop. So let's get to it. Let's study the figure. So I'm not gonna say um, everything verbatim because again, I want to publish this as a how to draw book. So that means I won't be using the Marvel characters in my actual how to draw book, but just to keep myself motivated and to keep you engaged, we're going to be using Marvel characters for the video series. So the first thing that Marvel, Stan Lee, and John Buscema suggests is that when you draw comic book heroes, and a lot of that has changed now, um, they needed to be bigger than life. So you didn't want to draw somebody like me who's 5'9" and 160 pounds. You wanted to draw somebody who was like 5'9" and 220 pounds. And that's why females tend to have bigger boobs and the perfect hourglass figure. And the men had the bulging muscles and everything. Even Spider-Man, who relatively is supposed to be my size. um, let's see. So on the male, well, wrong color. Males tend to have, and we're just going to use space and shapes. Males tend to have wide shoulders. And they tend to be about 6. The average guy like me is about 6 heads high. And that's what you will be using for your measurement, is your head height. In comic book terms, though, and like I said, this might be different now because this book was published in the late 70s. The typical height for a comic book hero is about 8 3/4 tall. So all I'm doing is duplicating my head height. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see. Knew I was missing one. Alright, so I'm going to lock that layer. Actually, I'm going to move it up some so that we can get the 3/4 head in. This I'll just draw in myself. Then we'll go back to layer 1. And move them up. So the typical male is supposed to be 8 heads, 8 3/4 head size, and what makes them a man is their wide, their wide shoulders. So then when we go from the shoulders got the I believe that's the tricep. No, triceps are in the back. So this is the bicep. Get your forearms. And get your hands. And we're just going to quickly sketch this. Get your elbow joint. There goes your tricep. Show the bicep. Pectoral muscles. Let's all connect around here. Do the same thing over here. Shoulders. Bicep. Forearm. And like I said, we're just sketching, so we're sketching shapes. I'm not actually going to draw out the figure. I'm going to draw on the sides. This leads us to the hips. the quads, the knee, which goes into the calf, which then goes into the feet. Comes out a little bit around the quad, comes in. This is the knee. Draw that. Basically the same thing over here. It's actually pretty good since I'm not used to really drawing digitally yet. I'm liking it though. Boom, 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 boom. The last couple sketches I've done that are on my Instagram, which you can find at instagram.com, Terrio A. Jenkins. I have two. I have one that's Terrio Jenkins, but that's my personal account. My art account is the Terrio A. Jenkins one. And you know what? We'll go ahead, like I said, real. If I think I can draw the characters somewhat, I will. So we have. Oh, this is actually perfect because I believe this month the Fantastic Four are returning to comic books. So how fitting that we're doing an old school piece. And like I said, I'm not going for perfection. We're just laying shapes. Males have square, powerful jaws. You have your circle. I drew my ears kind of early. Eyes are about here. Nose. And the mouth, which should be right near the chin. So let's give him some hair. I'm just going to throw off. Like I said, basic shapes, just to get an idea of where everything should go. So that's the male figure. Main points we want to try to remember is wide shoulders, square jaw, another thing I want to point out is the shoulders are all going to kind of make this triangle shape. At least that's how I see it. Whereas a woman's will be more with a point on top. So now let's do the female. So it says females are also 8 3/4 tall, but their hips are wider. So again, I'm just gonna lay in some basic shapes just to get a general idea. Now remember we did wide shoulders for the male, but we're not going to do that with a woman. Hers are actually going to slope down a little more, and there's going to be a gentle curve. Almost made that 2 angle. So I'm actually excited about Marvel republishing the Fantastic Four because it's only a matter of time before they're going to make their appearance into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And hopefully the X-Men as well. So let's see. I think I might have made her a little too small. Now, I didn't see the last Fantastic Four movie, um, only because it didn't look like it was going to be good. And, you know, as an African American, I really do appreciate representation. And I'm pretty sure, just going by what I saw from the trailer, that Michael B. Jordan was the only, it looks like he was the only one that was portraying Johnny Storm as Johnny Storm. But, you know, I know I'm probably going to get a lot of slack for this, but I really feel like Johnny Storm should have stayed white. Yes, it does show how modern the times are and how families are mixed. But you know, that's my personal opinion when it comes to characters like that. But like I said, I'm pretty sure he played an awesome Johnny Storm because Michael B. Jordan is a awesome actor in my book. So here's what we're talking about. So see how the shoulders kind of end right here for her? Her hips are actually going to come out a little further than that. And I did change brushes because I kind of like the way the chalk brush feels more when I'm sketching. Get the legs. So females are generally just drawn softer by drawing curves. Going back to typecasting or representation and blackfacing and all that jazz. So yeah, I'm all for, like, I don't see why, if Caucasians can play Egyptian gods, I don't see why a black character or a black actor or Asian actor can't play a role. Like something that's dramatic. Like, I feel like anything that can be adapted from a novel, unless the author specifically states that that character is a certain race, I feel like in those cases, it shouldn't matter your color. And but if you, unless somebody comes in and really knocks it out the park, and again, I'm pretty sure that's what Michael B. Jordan did, because again, he's awesome. I'm trying to think of some good examples of, like, Avatar: The Last Airbender. I wasn't as mad as a lot of people were, because to me, most of the characters from there looked white to me. And now I know that obviously the Water Tribe is supposed to be Eskimo, and that they were drawn a little darker, but they just looked like they were tan white characters to me. They never really appealed to me as being Asian or being black. So I really didn't have that much of an issue with Avatar: The Last Airbender. Um, in Daredevil the movie, Kingpin was played by Michael Clark Duncan. I had a little bit of an issue with that, even though to me nailed the role. So I can see why they went with him. And that would be a case of where talent overshadows race. So again, I'm not 100% sold. I'm like, I guess it's going to depend on what the series is, and maybe because I grew up with Johnny Storm always being white, that, and like I said, I don't have a problem with it. It's not like I was one of those people on the internet. Oh, Michael B. Jordan should be ashamed of himself and stuff like that. No, I'm happy for him because again, it is representation, and there is a severe lack of representation in media for all races, and we're stereotyped. We meaning other races, but that's starting to happen to Caucasians too, because now you have a lot of Caucasians that are bad guys. See, me personally as an artist, I do want to represent every race I can with all my books, but I want to show the good and bad of both, because in the reality of the world is there's good stereotypes and there's bad stereotypes, and I just think we I'm all for representation. Let me just put it that way. And I'm sure, like I keep saying, sure Michael B. Jordan played an awesome Human Torch. I just wish that, he looked like the Human Torch. But that wouldn't stop me from going to see the movie. What stopped me from going to see the movie is that the movies just really look bad. And I'm pretty sure it's one of those movies where maybe the actors might have been able to save it, but I haven't really heard anybody really talk. Now, the first two Fantastic Four movies that came out in the early 2000s, I thought were actually pretty. Uh, Maybe not the second one. I really did like the first one, and I think the Fantastic Four they're a hard team to adapt. There's just certain franchises that are hard to adapt. Like I feel like anything anime wise is hard to adapt. Superman, I feel like it's hard to adapt. Although and I thought a lot of people did, but I'm starting to see now that I'm in the minority. I like the portrayal of Superman in Batman and Superman and in Man of Steel, which came out, the last 4 or 5 years. So, got Susan Storm. So again, one of the things that we want to highlight is that women are going to have wider hips. And they're generally drawn with, man, I wish I could just do a series on my sketchbook. Because I can draw. I'm telling you now that I can draw a lot better than that if I was drawing in my sketchbook. But like I said, this is a journey of trying to get better with drawing digitally. A, to save money, but B, because I do see that there's a lot of advantages, just like fixing the shoulders, like I just did. So even here, you can see her hips are wider, but with Mr. Fantastic, you can see that the shoulders are wider, and that's pretty much, especially if they're just the same height, that's the main difference. And then, like I was saying earlier with the triangles, the way I kind of see it is women tend to have a triangle that points upward. So again, the main reason why men have wide shoulders is to show how much more powerful they are than a typical looking person. And that's really about it. Um, the shorter the characters are, obviously you wouldn't use the same head height like for Thing, his head height is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's about 6 heads tall. So if we were to, yeah, he's exactly 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If this is 8, so Thing comes up to here is what they're saying. But what makes him look huge is that he has a wider base, so his shoulders will be even wider than Mr. Fantastic. So, but that's it. That's the whole chapter. I'm gonna have this PSD. I have to figure out how I'm gonna start loading them on to my Patreon. Speaking of which, I've done a lot of changes recently. My blog at www.terriojenkins.com is being restructured so that it's more about. At first, it was going to be about making books, and I was saying how much I love books and making books. But I realized that what I really like is telling stories. And to tell stories, you can use books, you can use video games, you can use I said books. You can use comic books. There's so many ways to tell stories, and that's why I'm going to be restructuring my blog to kind of fit, not just promoting my book, but it's going to be about how to write stories. The journal series, which this is part of, is all about watching me as I improve as an artist, writer, and designer. It's going to have reviews on books that I like, books that I didn't like, books that have helped me. So that's what I'm going through. I'm coming up with a brand for the website. So that's why for anybody that's watching this video from my blog, that's why I haven't been posting in a while. Plus, I'm 9,000 words, 10,000 words ahead of schedule. So I've been taking a small little break so that I can concentrate on restructuring and figuring out what videos I'm going to do for YouTube and how I'm going to promote the book. I'm now on Wattpad. This is where I'm publishing my novel. It's for free. My WordPress blog followers, I'm going to be publishing it on there too. And my Patreon followers, or anybody who's on Patreon, it's also going to be available there for free. If you support me on Patreon for $1 a month, you get to be acknowledged in the book, and you get access to the rough draft of my first novel, Lust, which is part of my favorite Aries series. If you join for $5 a month, it's the same perks except you get access to the second draft. And if you join my gold medal package, which is $20 a month, you get access to the rough and first draft, and you get to also create a character for the next novel within I have to work with you and everything like that. So yeah, I'm still working on making designs for the shirts, and I'm working on posters. Matter of fact, let me show you because it's getting a lot of likes on my Instagram. Not sure why is my internet not coming up. Ah, there we go. So I am finally working on posters. So right here is going to be my favorite Aries poster, and you see I got 12 likes. I just put it up yesterday, so for me that's really good because I usually only get like 2 or 3. This is from my other novel series, The Pack. This is a character from Favorite Aries. He's actually right here. Whisper is his code name. And then this was going to be a realistic painting for an alternative cover for Lust, and she's actually right here. So I'm doing it. We're going to here's some of my art that I've done in the past year or so. But yeah, this video is running how long? I like talking to you guys. Nope, I don't want to. You guys don't want to see me. We are. Oh, we're only at 36 minutes. So my next journal series, which I'm going to start recording after I finish this video, is going to be my style video. This is, me trying to find a consistent style. But yeah, that's what's going on with me. Thank you for watching. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Pinterest, and Instagram. The links to those will be in the description below. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Thumbs down if you don't. Be nice. And remember to be terrific. I'll see you guys next episode.